Jamie, you've now been in the Thatcham Town manager's hot seat for around 2 months. How are things progressing?
Yeah, good. We've been back into pre-season now, just over a week and a half, so it's been great to get back out on the grass, to meet all the players and just to start actually working again. So it's been a long time coming, but no, buzzing to be back.
Okay, so I think today was the third pre-season training session. How are preparations come along for that new season?
Yeah, good. We've obviously had a lot of time to kind of start planning what we wanted to do. I mean, we took over, manager's been here 7 years, so we knew it was going to be a massive rebuilding job in terms of coming into the club. We've had lots of conversations with the previous, lots of players from the previous squads. We've decided, we want a certain type of player. We've decided that, as a club, there's a certain direction that we want to take. So, unfortunately, we did lose a lot of those guys that were with us over the last few years. But, as I said, we're excited about the future and, the direction that we want to take the club, and therefore we have to move forward with a totally new group.
Okay, so there was a lot of players here this evening, a lot presumably on trial still. What exactly are you looking for in a player?
I think in terms of the players that we want more local talent. I think when you've looked at the side over the last two to 3 years, we've had some tremendous players, but we probably haven't had enough local talent in the side, and that's something we're keen to do going forward. I think given the situation with the pandemic, the way the club is now, and to be fair, in terms of sort of the players I like, we want a younger player to be in this squad. So we want more local talent, young, hungry players with lots of potential, players that have a potential to move higher, but hopefully we'll be a club that can help them in their journeys with that.
Okay, when do you think we'll be in a position to start announcing new signings?
We have made a number of signings, so I think you guys will start releasing that from this week. So I know the fans have been keen to see who's coming on board, so we'll start releasing names. I think we're looking about 5 weeks out from the season now, so we're just slowly putting the finishing parts of that group together. But yeah, we will start announcing our signings.
Okay, so there's no definitive start date yet for the league season. However, our pre-season campaign begins on Tuesday night.
Yeah, correct. So to be fair, we're working towards a September the 12th potential cup game and a league start on the 19th. So that's kind of how we're planning the pre-season programme now. We know obviously that things may change with the current situation, but we have to plan to a time frame. So we kick off our first pre-season friendly on Tuesday, which will be great to get a proper game in. Obviously, it's a shame that has to be behind closed doors, so we can't have any fans in here. But I think the club is planning to maybe film some of the games and make that available to some of the supporters, so they can get a glimpse of what we're trying to do. But as I say, for pre-season, we've got a 6-week programme that culminates in us playing in the FA Cup hopefully on September the 12th. So we are planning to be ready for mid-September.
Okay, these are very strange times, of course. What impact has the pandemic had upon being able to sign players and preparing for the start of a new campaign?
I think obviously when we first joined the club, it's been a couple of months now. I think the biggest issue we had was we couldn't tell players what the future looked like in terms of when we might be coming back to pre-season or when that first game might be. So I think it made it easy for a lot of players to kind of sit back and assess their options. Normally you'd be talking to a player in May at the end of the season about signing with a view to coming back to pre-season in June. Obviously that wasn't a conversation we could have. So a lot of players, have left their options open and probably made decisions a bit later in terms of what they're going to do. We were talking to players whilst you look at the National League, it was still playing. So it's a very weird time in terms of when you look at players. Clubs have also now got to cut their cloth accordingly. So a lot of budgets have changed. Players' expectations haven't. Surprise, surprise. But I guess, that's come into some of the conversations as well. This club won't do anything that puts its future at risk. So we've got to be realistic in what we can do. And, we've been asking the players to be. And that's been mixed in terms of different players.
One of the first things you did was get your backroom staff in place. Would you like to give us a bit of a background info on Yash, Sean and G?
Yeah, so as you say, Yash and Sean with me when I got the job. So Yash is my assistant. I think most of the guys around the club will know Yash, having previously played here. He's had a big non-league career, scored lots of goals in his time. He's an infectious character around the place. He's great around the lads, good in the dressing room. He'll make sure that the group is tight, the group is together. And as I say, he brings an infectiousness around the place that pulls everything together. So he's a great support for me. I've then got Sean, who is a fantastic goalkeeping coach. You look at his pedigree, having been a young pro at Leeds. He's obviously gone off and got his coaching badges, and he's an excellent coach. But I guess with the pedigree he's had, he'll really push the keepers a lot harder this year, and really adds to the coaching staff. And then we've recently just brought in G. So G's quite a young coach, works over at Reading Football Club, UEFA B licensed coach. So we're excited to have him on board because he just brings a slightly different perspective to the group, I guess. Very good on the training ground, and we think he'll be a good addition to the coaching staff.
Great. And finally, do you have a message for the fans?
Yeah, obviously, I think, like myself, I guess everybody can't wait to get going. So, we want to see this stand full of people again. Obviously, social distance, but, we want to welcome them back to the club. We want them to see the new side that we're putting together. We ask them to trust in what we're doing. When I came into the club made it clear that they recognised that it would be a rebuild and that they wanted a long-term project, which is one of the reasons why I've taken this job. So we're going to develop an exciting side, as I talked about, full of young talent and potential, and we can't wait for them to come back in and see that.
Great, thank you, Jamie.
All right. Cool, thank you.